Create the life you have always dreamed of. It sounds impossible, but it does not have to be impossible.
Yeah, it all boils down to the story you choose to tell about yourself. So our next guest says changing your story is the most powerful tool you have for changing your life.
That is so true. Kindra Hall is a personal development expert and author of Choose Your Story, Change Your Life. And we're so excited to have her with us for some tips tonight to understand what you mean by changing your story. Kindra, thanks for being with us.
So happy to be here.
Well, so you have 3 celebrity examples. Can you tell us about those first?
I think there are some really incredible examples of celebrities who have already changed their story. Take a look at Meghan Markle and Harry, for example. That story of what it means to be a royal family member is pretty sad, but they challenged that story and instead decided to write their own. Or, for example, take a look at the great Reese Witherspoon. Now, she faced the challenge, as many women in Hollywood do, that there are limited roles for women as they reach a certain age and beyond. She could have accepted that story, but instead Reese went a different direction and wrote her own. In fact, she started a production company to create more roles for women, and that company just sold for $900 million. And then, of course, there's the great Taylor Swift. When you think back to her album Reputation, it didn't at first get a whole lot of the awards. It didn't get any of the big ones. But instead of her telling herself the story, my career is over, this is done, she said to herself, which is in the documentary, I just need to write a better album. She saw this as the middle of a story, and look at where she is now.
Okay, so Kindra, you say when it comes to changing our story, you say we need to break 3 pandemic habits. What exactly are those?
Well, first of all, stop spending our mental energy on things we can't control. If we've learned anything over the past couple of years, it's A, there's a lot that is out of our control, and B, we really don't have a whole lot of spare mental energy. So instead, refocus that mental energy internally on the things you can control to build back the belief in yourself. I recommend finding stories in situations that seem out of your control, stories of what you know to be true about yourself. Maybe you have an irresponsible boss or a condescending boss. Fine, you can't control that boss, but what are the stories you can tell yourself about how great you actually are?
Let me ask you this. What can someone do when they start to realize they are telling themselves a negative story? Because we could do that 100 times a day.
I think the first key is that right there. Understand that you're telling yourself a negative story, whatever that is, on repeat, that you can't do something, that you're not able to do something. That's a story that doesn't serve you. So catching it in the act is the beginning. And then the next step is to choose a better one. What is a story of a time where maybe the story you tell yourself is that you're failing as a parent? I know the pandemic has made us all question our parenting abilities in different situations. When is a story of a time you were an excellent parent? Those stories help.
So we know a lot of people are on social media, and social media allows people to be their own storyteller. So how can people use that platform in an authentic way?
I think one of the greatest things about social media, and let's face it, we all have a love-hate relationship with it, right? One of the big problems with social media is taking a look at other people's stories and comparing our own to those stories and thinking again that we're not living up. Here's a strategy. The best way to use social media for authentic storytelling that serves you is to take a look at your own highlight reel. If Instagram is just a highlight reel, why not go back and revisit some of your greatest posts? Relive those stories to remind yourself of how good things actually are.
Oh, it's so true. I started to write those things down instead of journaling in the morning or something. I try to write them down at night so I keep track of stuff by the end of the week, because you just forget, you know?
Yeah. Yep. We forget it easily.
Yeah, we do. Kindra, thank you so much for your insight and for joining us tonight.
Thank you again.